right. It is the Built by Vitality podcast, episode 274.
Minus, God, I suck at math. I don't know what it is. Okay.
It's about episode 45.
42.
Okay. We're getting there. Almost a year strong. On today's... My name is Steve Pinkerton, and I am sitting next to...
Jess Pinkerton. Philip Lewis.
At times it feels like that. I'm so excited I jumped the gun.
I know. It's okay.
But I'm also assuming...
You forgot it on episode... Did you notice you forgot it on like episode 39 or 40?
A good co-host probably would have helped me.
I still put our names on there.
Okay. All right. A good co-host probably would have said, hey, you forgot to introduce yourself.
Sorry.
I'm taking applications.
Oh, gosh. Me too. Me too.
Okay. Today's episode, we're going to talk about some things that I feel are backwards. You know, when you look at it and you're like, gosh, why are we doing it that way? You know, why is that like that? And why don't more people push back?
Yeah.
I guess that's what, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay.
I think I got some good ones.
All right.
I think I got some obvious ones. So yeah, what did you have? Do you want me to go first?
Go first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The first one might strike you as coming out of left field, but I don't think it is. Here's what I want you to do. On your way home from work today, I want you to count how many American flags you see in people's yards or on their houses.
Okay.
Okay? It's staggeringly low. Way too low.
Depends on what county you're in. I'm just kidding. In general, it's pretty low.
It's pretty low.
You don't see that a lot.
You just don't. And I say this because one of the first things I did when we moved into our new house was I put a flagpole on our front porch, and it was funny because a couple guys just joked that, oh, hey, you know, you can't put up flags in the neighborhood. It's part of the homeowners association, and they were joking, but they were joking like, you know, they were telling me that I can't do it, but they were serious that it actually is in most homeowners associations. You're not allowed to put flags up on your houses, and I thought to myself, and that was like 6 months ago, and me, I don't really like conformity that much, contrary to popular belief, I'm sure. So my whole thought was, man, I bet you Frank and I could put up a pretty big flagpole.
So all the neighbors can see it.
Well, whatever. I don't care who sees it. So we put like a 30-footer, put a big light on it, 24 hours a day, the whole deal. It's pretty cool. But why do you think that is? Why are there no... And you know what? And here's... this is going to get me in trouble. But you know what? Like I said, what do we got? 50 downloads?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Let me tick some people off. Just take down your stupid spring, fall, Easter bunny flags and put up a dang red, white, and blue, man. Stars and stripes.
I've seen those too. Some pumpkin flags.
What are we doing?
Christmas tree flag.
You cannot do that unless you have an American flag in your yard.
Yeah. Why don't you have the American flag up, and then every season change or holiday, you swap out that other one?
I don't know why it makes me so mad, but it does.
Yeah.
And I guess I shouldn't say mad. I guess it's not like I drive by and I want to stop.
Irritated.
It just really irritates me that someone takes the time to go get some stupid flag with the Easter bunny on it, which, spoiler alert to all you under 10-year-olds, Easter bunny does not exist.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. So all the kids out there, I'm sorry. But you know what? If you're a parent and you got an Easter flag out and not a American flag, then do your kids the justice of teaching them about some American history and put an American flag up in your yard.
Yeah.
Jeez. It doesn't have to be a mounted 30-footer with a light on it. But
it'd be cool.
But take some pride in it, man. Yeah. Goodness gracious. You know what the first thing we did when the military goes overseas and we occupy a new area, whether we would call them combat outposts, these cops, and what they would do is the first thing they would do is fly the American flag, fly our colors inside that compound.
Yeah.
It was like the first thing. And I guess I can think of a couple different reasons why we do that, but it's just it's a no-brainer. And I remember that there would be, throughout the period of time, there would be people that would send us flags. They wanted us to fly them for a certain period of time, like 3-4 days, and then bring them down and send them back so they could have that. You know, they wanted to feel like they were a part of it somehow, and I thought that was really cool. And I'm not going to talk too much more about this, but you think back to 9/11. Guess what everybody had in their cars and their houses after 9/11? American flags.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I get it, but should it really take a terrorist attack for us to feel like, oh, I'm proud to be an American citizen? I don't care what you believe in politics. I don't care if I voted for Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or back in the day if I was a Ross Perot independent guy. I don't care. Do you think that should that change my feeling of pride that I have seeing the American flag fly? No. So what? Our guy didn't get elected 4 years ago and 8 years ago and 12 years ago. You know what? Cry me a river, but just stop being a baby about it. I truly don't think that's why. I really don't. I don't think that it's because, they don't agree with who's the president this time or last time or whoever it might be. Yeah. I don't think politics plays in it. I think somewhere along the line, these HOAs made these dumb rules that said you can't fly flags in your yard, in which, look, in some respects I get it, like you can't have any flag fly in your yard, but you don't for 1 second think you can tell me that I can't fly an American flag on my house. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And more people should be bucking the system and saying, hey, that's not right. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't tell me what I can and can't do. No.
Yeah, they tell them like, hey, if you live in this neighborhood, you can't be this religion. Mm-hmm. That's part of our HOA. You can't do that type of stuff.
No. So, gosh, maybe I shouldn't have started with that one. That got me kind of fired up.
It's okay. Relax.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, scan your thing. Let's see what it went to.
Okay. I got like 3 days left of this bad boy.
Tune into the last episode. This is the glucose monitor. Let's see if
100. That's
it went from 80 to 100.
Okay.
All right, relax.
We'll slow it down. Let's slow it down. Okay. You want me to go again or you got one?
Oh, just go again. Okay. Maybe to help you get off the other one.
Wages. Okay. I really think we are so backwards in how we compensate different occupations. You've got...
I'm with you on this one.
You've got entertainers, okay? Their only job is to entertain people, okay? They're not curing cancer. They're not saving lives. They're not putting their life in danger. They're not teaching our kids anything but mostly not good stuff. But yet we're paying these knuckleheads hundreds of millions of dollars.
Drives me nuts.
Okay.
You'll never win an argument, in my opinion, with me that somebody out on a basketball court, football field, any of that, should be making that much money compared to police, fire, medics, doctors. You just can't.
So when you look at first responders, military, teachers, those are the ones, and I'm sure I'm forgetting an obvious one, but the nucleus of that right there have the biggest impact on our livelihood and our future generations of anybody else.
That group, a lot of that group are at these events to provide security and safety and stuff so those people can perform, yeah. But they do it for pennies.
Yeah. So there, it's such a big group that I'm talking about, but average military, you're looking at $50,000 to $65,000, $70,000. Teachers are well under that. Yeah. They're closer to $40,000 to $50,000. And then you've got your EMTs and first responders that are not getting paid a whole lot. Yeah. And it just, I cannot understand how we can rationalize that type of thinking. Now, am I going to watch the Super Bowl? Sure, I'll watch the Super Bowl, but does that justify the type of money that we're throwing at these people? That imagine, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was because I was in the military and I saw what these young kids that sacrificed everything because they believed in their country, they believed in what America stood for, and they're going paycheck to paycheck, living in a way that people can't even imagine. And then you've got these athletes that hit a ball with a metal stick through a hole, which, hey, do I think golf is a extremely challenging sport and it takes a ton of coordination and practice? No. I'm just kidding. I do. I do. 100%. I do.
I don't. I'm just kidding.
And hockey and basketball and football, yeah, that's great. They've sacrificed a lot to get to that point. But do they deserve? Man, on the low end, what's the league minimum was like $400,000 in the NFL. I mean,
and that's because they're not playing, right?
And they're not doing anything.
They're just on the team.
They're on the team, and yet I could stay in the Marine Corps for 30 years and not make 40% of that.
Yeah,
and it's just, I don't know, man.
I know how they're able to pay that because it's entertainment, it's sports, it's whatever. All the people can come watch it. They buy the food, they buy the tickets, they buy all this stuff, they buy the merchandise, so they're able to. It just don't make no sense.
I know. And here's the easiest way I'll tell you. If I take away football tomorrow, what happens?
Nothing.
Some people get pissed off in Dallas. The Texas people don't. They like them Cowboys.
Yeah.
But what changes? Nothing. If I take away the police, sorry, already tried doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're already trying that. But let's take that away.
Yeah.
What changes? Everything changes.
If you need help, a football player ain't coming.
I mean, you got to look at this and say, what are we doing? Why are we paying 100x to someone that is and then we're giving them a platform to speak on, like they're this, if you want to learn something, you take some people that are in law enforcement or military or first responders on the front lines, you put them in front of a camera and ask them some questions that you're asking these athletes that think they're politicians. You put the camera in front of people that have actually sacrificed something for their country, and then people might hear and see the picture that's truly being painted out there. So again, that's something that's I've got a soft spot because I see it. My older brother's got 3 kids and a family, and he's been in the state police for 15, 16 years, and he doesn't get paid what he should be getting paid.
Nope.
It's not right. And then you look at, the last thing I'll touch on is teachers. Teachers are shaping the future generation. And I think we're at a crossroads here with the way that our school systems are and some of the things that they're implementing inside this school system, that if we don't make it more lucrative and really bring some fresh talent into these school systems, we're going to have some problems. Because no matter how much you love kids and how much you love to teach, you cannot support your family on $38,000 or $40,000 a year. All right, and I think that the compensation structure that we have as a society right now is
it's messed up.
Not good. So this is one where I'll let you run with, seeing how you just got back doing a little blood work.
Yep.
Healthcare.
Yeah.
I think our healthcare system is atrocious.
It's messed up.
It is.
Really bad.
It's laughable. It's. I mean, it's disgraceful.
It's almost like you need to be rich to be healthy, or to get help.
Yeah,
or something like
that.
Why,
and why is that? Because unless you're gonna go to an independent, I don't want to call it holistic, but holistic style doctor,
yeah, like a private thing or something,
you're not gonna get the quality of care. Because you tell me next time you go to a doctor's office at a hospital or whatever, you walk into that room, whether you believe it or not, you are on a clock. Yeah. You got 3.5 minutes to explain the last year of your life to somebody, yeah. And maybe they'll pick something up, or maybe all they're thinking about is, hey, he's been talking to me for 4.5 minutes. If I'm gonna get my 30 people an hour in here, I gotta get him out of here right now. So you know what? Cool. Hey, what do you need? Oh, refills? Oh, cool. Yeah. Antidepressants? Cool. Anything else? You gained 37 pounds this year? You're still okay. You're pre-diabetic. You're gonna be okay. And they wait for you to get sick before they fix anything. Yeah.
I seen a thing the other day. I think I told you. It says if the medicine worked, then why do you have to refill the prescription?
Yeah.
So that's like you're a number to them. But like I said, if you don't make a lot of money and you don't have a great insurance plan, or you don't have insurance, you call the doctor and you need something like legit done, like something internally, say MRI, CAT scan, whatever it is. 99% of those people can't afford it. They would just put it off. But then when it's a problem, they end up at the hospital.
What'd you tell me about the discrepancy in price between?
So kids, for example, like you have kids and say they're allergic to something and you need EpiPens.
Okay.
And that reverses your blood. I think it lowers your blood pressure, relaxes your muscles so they can breathe or whatever if something happens. If you look, the range for that, say there's $600 to $800 for those things. With some insurance and coupons and stuff, they get down to like, I don't know, $300-400. But you take somebody that's a drug user, they're addicted to opioids and things like that. You can go to a lot of places and just get Narcan for free. And Narcan's like an EpiPen for drug users that do that stuff. So if they overdose, they can just take it to where they don't die, and it's readily available, and most of the time you can get it for free. But parents have to pay $800 to $400 or whatever it is to get these EpiPens for their kids that just was born with something they're allergic to.
Yeah.
But somebody that abuses drugs can go to a lot of these community-based places, some pharmacies, and go in. It's readily available, and they get it for free.
Yeah.
They should pay $800 for that, because they can pay $800 for their bottle of pills that they got illegally.
Yeah.
Instead of the child that has that, they're born with something they're allergic to, and then it's a burden on the parents to have to pay for that.
The goal for the healthcare system is to continue to treat sick people. And when you really think about it and you say, well, why do they want to focus on getting people healthy? Well, sick people are too valuable.
Yeah. They'll go broke if everybody's healthy.
If they fix people, then look at just cancer alone. You look at how, in my opinion, the pharmaceutical companies have completely exploited cancer as a way to line their pockets, because you look at 11 out of 12 of the latest cancer drugs that were approved by the FDA. So 11 out of 12. The annual price tag of all 11 of those are over $100,000.
Gosh.
So you want to do that for a year? One of those drugs is going to cost you $100,000. Now, don't worry. The insurance company will come in and take care of that for you. But that whole thing, think about that. You're paying your deductible. Where's all the insurance money coming from? Whether it's taxes, whatever else. Mm-hmm. And the number is $150 billion per year that we spent on cancer treatment here in America. $150 billion. And at any given time, 5% of the population has cancer. That's roughly 17.5 million people. So I just look at that just the one category, and the amount of money when you're dealing with that type of money, it's too much money for people to care about getting people healthy.
Yeah.
They care about their third home in the Hamptons. They care about their private plane.
And what's crazy, those people you're talking about, if they get cancer, they can afford to get the medicine.
Well, guess what they're probably going to go? Overseas somewhere.
Oh yeah, but they can do it.
Yeah,
they can afford it, and they can do it without insurance. They
Yep.
can just pay for it with cash.
For sure. Our healthcare system's a joke, and and I talked about this guy, Chris Kresser, in our last episode. But he was a breath of fresh air. I don't know, it was probably 5-6 years ago. I listened to him talk in the Kresser Institute, and he's trying to train up these doctors to get out of the rat race, the hamster wheel of the healthcare system, and do their own thing. And they've had a lot of success with it. Guys like John Bartimus. I don't know if you know John Bartimus. Mm-hmm. He's a holistic doctor. I shouldn't say I'm saying he's a holistic doctor. There might be he's a functional medicine doctor, I guess just to say. And he might have a different name for what he's considered, so I apologize if I'm mischaracterizing that. But he's somebody that you're going to go to, and he's going to spend hours looking at every facet of your body. And I'm just full transparency, I've never used him. My wife has. But I know him as a person. I
used to work out and stuff with him. I know him from North Lake, him and Kate.
But here's the thing. It might be a turnoff to people because it's expensive. Mm-hmm. But guess what? It's expensive to not get fixed.
Yeah.
So if you're counting on our current healthcare system to fix you, man, you're in for a rude awakening. So, yeah. Is it more expensive than going to your normal doctor that's going to take insurance and do this other stuff? Sure. But you might want to amortize that out with your normal doctor for the next 40 years because that's what you're going to be chasing, versus actually maybe going and figuring out and saying, what is the root cause of this problem? And nobody's asking those questions. So healthcare is another one. And this might, you guys might be, I might be rubbing you the wrong way because you're like, well, give us a solution. I wish I could. But I think the first part of this process is to say, let's ask some questions. Let's understand that it's messed up first. And then at least have your eyes open for what's a better way. Then maybe you can go find. My answer is go find a functional medicine doctor. And if you don't have one, email me, and I'll put you in touch with one of 3 or 4 that I know of.
There's a lot of people that believe in like the free health care stuff, like some countries do. Yeah. And I know some people in those countries or whatever that I got to meet over the past few years, and they're like, y'all think this? A lot of Americans think that the free health care is great. They're like, it is good to some extent, but it has this downfall too. They're like, say, I don't know, your grandma isn't feeling well. She goes to the doctor. It's free to go, whatever. She has some kind of cancer or has something. They don't make her a priority if she's 80 years old. They kind of just say, oh, she's lived a good life. They don't. That's when it kind of turns into here a little bit. They prioritize Steve that comes in because he's younger and maybe they can treat him for a little bit longer. But they're like, she's older. We're not going to treat this. So they pick and choose a little bit, even though it's free. So it's still not that beneficial.
I think the best way to do this is whatever our politicians vote on, that's what they use. Yeah. That's simple.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how you do it. And if they don't feel good about going to wherever they're going, then guess what?
Yeah.
Don't send me there.
Yeah.
Don't send me there. And that's fine. If I want to choose to go to somewhere else, then yes. But let's give them the opportunity to get reimbursed for some of these other doctors that we believe just because someone else doesn't believe that there's an actual fix to a problem and that everyone's going to live with whatever illness you have for the rest of your life. That just because I believe it can be fixed, don't punish me for it. Maybe pay for it out of my pocket.
Yeah. So
that's healthcare. So we've went over American flags, the wage system, the healthcare. These last couple are kind of obvious ones. Communication we've talked about, but everything's virtual, no face to face. That's backwards to me because I remember, and it wasn't that long ago. I remember. As a kid, my parents teaching me like, hey, when you walk into a room and you meet somebody, make sure you stick your hand out there and shake their hand. I remember being embarrassed as heck, man. My dad he was such a big handshaker, and I just couldn't understand why. I'm like, gosh, why is he? I'd come in, I was like 7 years old, and I'm having to shake old people's hands, and then you get mad because I wouldn't grab hard enough, or I wouldn't have a firm enough grip, or I wouldn't look them in the eyes. And now I get it. I'm like, golly, I was such a punk kid, man. How can I be so stupid and not realize how disrespectful it was to, do the old fish shake? Here, let me just give you here. Here you go. Let me shake your hand, like I'm a doggone 1970s ballerina.
Yeah. It's like all the dating apps now. You can meet somebody and start talking to them and get to know them without leaving your house.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, it's all fun and games. You meet them, everything's going good through text or your chat. When you go on that first date, it's totally different. You don't even know how to act because you've been so comfortable from your couch texting with this person, but then you actually got to meet them in person and talk and interact. You don't know how to do that anymore.
And it used to be where you could meet someone, you shake their hand, you look them in the eyes, and you say, hey, here's what we're going to do, and you have an agreement, and it's a verbal agreement, it's your word, that's it. And sure, you had to have a couple page document to kind of back it up, but now there ain't no handshakes. Well, first of all, you got these crazies that are saying that, masks and gloves are the new normal. Get out of here, first of all. Don't even get me going on that. I will still shake people's hands, and if you don't want to shake my hand, then we got problems, okay? Because you cannot be trusted by the end of this year if you're wearing a doggone glove and you're not, and you want to fist bump me again, okay?
So I can't shake your hand with a dish glove on or nothing?
And take your elbow and get that thing. I ain't elbow bumping nobody, okay? So, but that's what's going on. People that make those ridiculous comments, they've never really learned how to build a relationship through communication and trust. And now everything we do, we post our personal business. If I had $1 for every time I see some sappy story on the Instagram where people are just fishing for attention. Gosh, I feel sorry for those people that they post something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and it's this terrible thing that happened to them, and then you look below and there's 104 comments, and of course the person that posted it responds to every single person's comment. It must take them hours,
forever,
and it's like, look, I get it, but that stuff like that has always been. I've always thought like there is a small group of people, your close friends group, that you share that type of stuff with. The world doesn't need to know that. I lost a tooth and I had a headache today and I just so stressed out. I felt the world was against me. No. You had a bad day. Suck it up, man. Yeah. I don't need to go home and post about it. Just staring at the dang computer screen for the 30 minutes it took you to type your little your update is probably what gave you a headache. Yeah. So
check your monitor again.
Let's check it out. Oh man, see,
I think it's 110 now.
You think so?
Oh, still 100. It hasn't coming down though.
I'm good. It's not going down. So that's where I think, and what this does with a lack of communication and that skill set, it makes it so we have no accountability, and that's really where we cause some problems. In the accountability part, that's just it's crazy to me because you've got a $1,000 Game Boy. Remember the old Game Boys?
Yep.
Those things were pretty sweet.
Yeah, I used to keep one on the back of the toilet sometimes in my apartment.
In your apartment?
Yeah.
You should never play
Just
games
pull
in
it
your
around.
toilet. Yeah.
You sit there. Well, sometimes I'd be done using the bathroom, but I'd just end up playing Game Boy.
Yeah, okay. Oh man, that's a hard vision for me to get rid of right now. But that's what it is, man. You get everybody's really tough when they're saying, "Oh man, what an idiot. He thinks this. I'm going to tell him this."
I'll tell him right here on my phone.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him on my phone.
Right, yeah.
Wait a second, where's he live? I'm going to make sure he's far enough away that he can't find me. Let me go under my dummy account that doesn't have my real details on it, But you think about that, and this is, it would be so crazy. Like, Philip had some blood work done today, and he's got some.
I'm stressed.
He's a little stressed, and he's got some cholesterol numbers that are kind of.
I got a high particle number.
So
it's hereditary. I got a high particle number. But the good news is, most of them are big and fluffy.
Yeah, you're just like you, big and fluffy.
Yes.
Yes. But you think about that. It'd be like Philip coming back from that and like sitting down and be like, "Man, I just gotta put an update. Let me just update everybody."
Yeah.
And doing that,
just got
and
back,
it's like
my blood work back, and I'm not going to make it.
Here's what people say. Yeah, people will say, "Man, just got back my blood work and things don't look good." ...
Oh, they don't even put what happened.
Oh no, because if you put what happens,
then no
one's going to comment. And now you leave it a little vague.
Yeah.
And then boom. Everybody's out.
Yeah.
You got your third grade girlfriend that lives in Germany or wherever. She's checking in on you, hadn't talked to you in a decade.
Yeah.
And then it's just, jeez. So anyway, maybe I'm the insensitive guy. I'm sure I am. But
we need to start you that TikTok.
Oh man. And then you got my daughter on TikTok.
Oh man. How's that going?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah. Amazing. All right. So communication, that's kind of an easy one to you can't argue this. You cannot argue it. And let me tell you something. These kids that are teenagers right now, you wait until their 20s and 30s and they don't know how to deal with confrontation. They don't know how to deal with building relationships. And I think you're going to have a lot of people that burn bridges, because burning bridges is a lazy man's way to deal with confrontation, in my opinion. And trust me, like I've said before, I am not. I don't pretend to tell you that I've never burned some things down before, but I've learned the hard way, and I've learned that. There's a lot of bridges that I burned that I wish I wouldn't have done, but there's a ton that I did not burn because of what I learned.
Yeah.
And I think that knee-jerk reaction to want to always be right, want to, kind of, someone throws a stone at you, you want to throw a boulder back type of deal. You're going to realize that doesn't work. And when they get put in that position, it's going to be too late for them to learn because they haven't had that experience. So
what else is backwards? Food.
Okay, let's do it.
I mean, just in general, like we talked about a little bit with Derek on our podcast where he lost over 200 pounds.
Yep.
You go to a fast food place, you can get a double cheeseburger loaded on up with everything you want for $1. But if you want to try to eat somewhat healthy, and you want to get the salad, it's $9.99 or $6.99, and you could get 7 cheeseburgers for that. It does not make sense. It's
agree.
lettuce, it's grass with some dressing and stuff in there, and it's $7, and that burger is $1.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Those I got to eat quite a few of them things, man.
I know.
That's probably why I got the bad numbers today.
I agree.
The food stuff is just totally backwards to me.
I hate to sound like a Chicken Little, but do you think that the food prices the way that they are kept that way because of it driving the healthcare system?
And somewhat, like some things, it could be like a big, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
If you'd made all the fast food chains, if you flipped it and all the salads were $1 and the burgers were $8 for them little things, people would probably start getting little grilled chicken salads instead of burgers, and they might be more healthy and they won't go to the doctor. It could be all kinds of stuff.
I wish, how do I say this without hurting your feelings?
Gosh.
I wish that Jess was sitting next to me for a second, because she's so smart when it comes to like nutrition stuff.
No.
I'd want her to explain a little bit of the subsidies that they did back in the 80s and 90s, because my old man had a farm growing up, and the government paid him to stockpile corn in silos or wherever.
Yeah.
And I remember he moved some cattle out of these big facilities to make room for corn that he was storing there. And I guess the government paid these farmers to do that just in case, whatever, but it was corn. So imagine if they did that. Imagine if they subsidized these farmers, because it's so expensive to grow healthy cattle and livestock or whatever. If they did it with corn, and corn is the worst food on the planet for you.
I seen a thing the other day, it's kind of just a little off topics about corn. How come when you eat corn? I'm just kidding. We'll go to the next one.
We talked about this with Philip in the kitchen. Nate and Spencer were like, "Man, you'll be on a roll with like your train of thought," and Philip will be like, "Hey,
that's why I'm here. That's why your mom likes me."
And my mom says to me the other day, she says, "Hey, when I come out to see you, you just have to. I got to meet Philip. He is just the funniest."
I won't say what I've seen.
And I'm like,
it's just, no matter how you eat corn, it always looks the same. Okay?
Yes.
Think about that for something to do with those silos. Or
and the Game Boy. You and the corn and Game Boys.
Tetris.
But, you think about that, and it's like, gosh, you're right. But a part of me says, if they switched it around, at what cost do the pharmaceutical companies and Kellogg's and some of these cereal companies or wherever, where do they, what happens?
There's no big thing here in Concord, that crumble cookie.
Oh, gosh.
Have you seen that place?
Yep.
It is nonstop packed.
Yep.
Like there's lines out the door. Somebody shared something the other day, and they were sharing the different types of cookies they have, and they literally highlighted the ingredients in these cookies, and then they would put what that ingredients is underneath. And most of that stuff, a ton of that stuff, some of it's banned in other countries because it can cause cancer and other things.
Yeah.
And people are coming out of that thing with like boxes and boxes of these things.
I'll tell you, I think I love stores like that, because it's a small business. I don't know how big Crumble Cookie is. I'm envisioning that's a small business, but there's nothing wrong with that in moderation. But the problem you run into, we don't do well with moderation. No. So, work ethic is another one I want to hit on real quick.
Oh, I'm on this one too.
Yeah?
God, I experienced this.
Man, I'm telling you, I hate being that guy that's like, well, when I was a kid, but son of a gun, man. When I was a kid, man, you had to work. You had to get a job. I don't know.
You had to do it.
You just
work
did.
Ethic. A big thing of that I've experienced, the people that show up to work on time, do their job, they hardly ever call out, they do everything that a boss would think you want them to do, are the ones that always get crapped on, and the ones that call out sick, don't show up, they're on time, this and that, do a half crap job, they get promotions. I had people told before, hey, they're not going to promote you because you do so well where you are. They don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
But this guy is terrible. They want him out of the department, so they're going to give him a promotion to get him. I was like, that don't make any sense.
No.
Get rid of him and promote the other guy.
And there's just nobody, and whether you go to talk to construction people and trying to find the subcontractors that they've had in the past, they can't find people that want to work.
No.
I will tell you that on a very small scale, I've dealt with construction for the last 7 years, and I've had, I would consider my experience with construction to be pretty limited, and I built this 50,000 square foot building, and I would still consider my knowledge small. So for people out there that want to argue with me and they haven't built anything, I'm sorry, but I really don't care what you think. Okay, I care what people that have a ton of experience, which there's a lot that I've worked with, that have forgotten more than I'll ever know. But I've had enough experience to understand. I've seen every type of crew you could think of. And let me tell you, you may not want to hear this, but the only crew that I will hire, and I've hired the same crew for probably the last 5 or 6 jobs for my tenant upfits, is a Hispanic crew that comes in, and they are on time. I end up paying them probably the same, or if not a little bit more. They're a little more expensive than an American crew, and that doesn't matter if they're white, black, doesn't matter. They're an American crew is a headache that I cannot explain. They're lazy. They complain and whine. The
ones you've had before.
Oh, terrible. Right? Terrible.
But the ones you have now, like
the Hispanic crew that I have right now, I can't even explain to you.
What'd you say the other day? They've been working so fast. You're like, man, I'm about to tell them slow down. They're doing they're just there, sun up, sun down, like getting it done.
And it makes so much sense because I never understood why do these guys want to be working on 10 or 12 different jobs? Why not bring the whole crew and just knock one of them, just knock it out and move on to the next?
Yeah.
And these guys get it, and that's why I keep calling them. And they're busy because everybody figured it. Other people figured it out too, and so as much as people want to say that whatever, we're going to be okay. We got this great work ethic. Or the backbone of our country is small business. The backbone is small business, but let me tell you something. We're not going to be okay because there aren't trades out there like HVAC guys, electricians, plumbers. Young kids aren't growing up and wanting to get into those fields.
No.
They want to get into some type of tech field because that's where they think the money is. Well, let me tell you something. If you are a high school senior and you do not know what you want to do with your life, let me tell you something. Go attach yourself to a trade school, whether it's electrician, plumber, HVAC, and you will make more money than you'll know what to do with. Yeah. And if you think I'm lying, come see me. I will lay it out for you and show you how few people are actually doing this thing the right way. And the ones that are doing it right, there's a group called gosh, I'm gonna screw it up. CSS. The guy by the name of Corey Staff. I used him for the last 5 or 6 years, but he's a plumber. He's got his plumbing license. He's got his electrical license, and he can do both of those things. I've yet to meet anybody else that can do that. Marty's got a guy at Venture that does that, and the two of them are so busy you can't. If you're in a hurry, man, you get in line because they've got so much work because people know how valuable they are, and if you'll make 6 figures doing HVAC work. Because let me tell you something.
What's the name of this company?
Yeah, right. I ain't telling you. I can barely figure it out on my own. But if you're young and hungry and you can learn that stuff, forget about it, man. You will be very successful.
And my buddy Jonathan, he went to school in Virginia to play football. I forgot it was a shipyard somewhere in Virginia. He went to there, like apprenticeship school up there.
Yeah.
And he learned to be learned to be a machinist or something, like learned a trade while he played football. And he's been doing it for, 10 years or something. I have to ask him, but he makes really good money doing it.
Let me tell you something, man. Heavy machinery, they get paid.
Yeah.
They get paid. Now,
what's some things like, I don't know if it's a lathe or what it is, they're inside of those things to protect you.
Yeah.
And it's got the water and it makes the different cuts and stuff and the metal pieces. And he does all that stuff. He makes good money.
Yeah. Yep. No, that might not be what you want to do, but fine. If you're confused, if you are a high school kid or a college kid that's confused about what he wants to do, there's two things: go to trade school or join the military. That's it. Don't go. Here I am again. Don't go to a bank. I don't think you're going to want a bank. I don't think you want a desk job. Save that stuff for later. Save that stuff for, I don't know, man. I'm just the type, I believe that work with your hands a little bit. Work outside a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think that develops this work ethic that we need. But again, so, those are the things that I think are very backwards. We'd love to hear some feedback on whether you agree or disagree. But yeah, this is the Built by Vitality podcast, brought to you by
Yankee
the Orange
Candle.
Cinnamon Yankee Candle.
You know this is backwards? After this, just
What?
before we get off here, your bodybuilding workouts on Tuesday. It's just not bodybuilding.
What do you think they are?
I don't know, man. It's like a Metcon. I just
think
don't know. I think to start programming these things. 3 sets of 10 on bench with no kind of machines would be nice,
Just straight up,
It's just backwards.
3x10 bench and be done with it.
Yeah, some curls, no bike, no ski.
I was looking around for Philip today. We were testing the workout. Philip was nowhere to be found. He's out getting his fluttery heart.
Ticker checked.
All right, guys. Hopefully Philip will be here next week, and we'll catch you on the next episode.